Greetings everyone. This will be a post-running video. Actually, I feel quite lazy today. I haven't run the whole length. But anyway, as long as you get out and sweat a bit, that's good. So something that's really kind of relevant these days is, smartphones and children. Well, for me, because they are about that age, it's not a new phenomenon. So right off the bat, we never had a dinner somewhere where we just shoved the phone in the children's hands and, let them drool there over some content. We never had that sort of relationship with the smartphones where they actually need it. So they never kind of had it too much anyway. Like it's kind of common these days to see people just staring down their phone and the children having one of the phones and just doing something, It doesn't have to be that way. But just now, we live in this age where everything is digital, just as people 1,000 years ago had to kind of milk a cow and be able to use a sword, a shield or something. You don't want to deny children what's actually relevant for survival these days, because everybody will get hooked into these devices. Sooner or later, for work or school or private life, you'll just have one. So everyone will use it. And there are two kinds of users. Those who will use it their whole life and not understand anything, be almost totally stupid about how it works and never figure out anything, like connect the dots. I mean, for me it's kind of natural that when you use something, even if you're never going to get the pro at it, you kind of get the hunch of how it works, how you can do this or that, turn off or turn on certain functions. So those are the two kind of ways that people develop. And I might as well be the one to introduce that to them. And so I think the age of 7 to 9 is kind of decent. So my plan is to take a device and tweak it so it's kind of like child friendly according to my standards. Now that would be another video, I guess, to kind of show what's disabled, how I did it. And I'm out in the forest right now, but that's my plan. So my older daughter, she will start using it, and all I can hope for is that my knowledge, which I gained by actually just using the computer in the 90s, and just trying out things and having a decent kind of understanding of how things work, that will kind of be shared with them. There's no guarantees, but they will use it anyway. And I think it's also better than to have like a child who's perhaps denied the access to a smartphone or something, to be kind of thirsty and then be let loose later on and not really orientate. Sort of like a child learns a language the best at a young age, and the older you get, you kind of get a bit rustier on the learning side. So that's my take on it, and my take on it has changed a bit. I've tried all kind of like ideas. There are some schools that actually ban the use of phones during school time. Few schools, but it exists. People do that in various ways. But anyway, like when they use the camera, or when my older daughter, she's starting to play Minecraft, you can see the creativity and you see how they kind of learn it fast. So you just have to kind of introduce it to them, and they'll be right there and building and tweaking and exploring. So I mean, that's inevitable. That's the nature of humans, or humans who are curious, especially children. So my take is to take a smartphone, any device. I guess Android phones are more made to be customized than iPhone devices. And you tweak it, you set limits, and you don't set limits, and there are various ways to go about it. You can use like mainstream parenting Google function, or you can kind of like make a dummy account, or you can reboot the phone, reinstall a different kind of iOS, not iOS, but operating system OS on it. So that's kind of the way I will go about it. So yeah, that will be her birthday gift, and so that's my take on it. I mean, what do you guys think? I think it's the same as back in the days with children, you know, they kind of had to know how to use a sword, milk a cow, or do something. This is the tools of our age we live in. Now, of course, smartphones make a instant short attention span culture. I mean, we all know that, but you might not have it, I don't have it, and we're still using the technology, right? So it's not either or. And I figured like everybody will be introduced and use the technology, so they might as well kind of not learn from me, but get the like first introduction. And you know, they see things I do, and yeah, so I think it's kind of better than not having that option. I mean, let's say if I didn't know that much about privacy online and all that stuff, they'll be just let loose there with all the basic functions, right? It's the same way as somebody 1,000 years ago had a parent who didn't know how to use a sword, but they still learned to use the sword. And some fathers or mothers, you know, were quite skilled at it, so they taught their children to be better at it. And you know, there's no guarantees, and we will all use it, so why not just introduce it and have a more relaxed state of mind and actually learn more about how privacy works, how various functions work, and you know, try to explain some aspects of it to children when it comes up, so to say. That's my take on it, and I'm actually looking forward to it. You know, there are how do you say, like cryptology based communication apps for videos, texting, photos. There's so many things, and the only way to kind of change about anything is to actually, you know, use and share the knowledge you have. And of course, your immediate family and friendly surroundings are your first environment to share anything and teach and learn from each other. So that's where I'm kind of at right now. And I've been talking to other parents, and people do it differently. You know, some just let loose, they don't even know what their child is up to. Others are very strict. Some are actually in between. Yeah. So that's just the way I will do it, or we will do it. Yeah, I will try to run the last part of this a bit, so I just don't find an excuse and make a video. Until the next time, have a fine day. All the best.